This area, the Kessler Meridian area, is probably in Indianapolis or central Indiana, probably the most affluent area, I guess, in the city. It's definitely very walkable, livable, and a bit schwank. All right, done with lunch or brunch, breakfast, lunch, whatever. Good times. Great catching up with Mike and getting to meet and spend time with his son Rowan. And great conversation. Definitely left inspired for sure about a lot of things. All right, heading out. All right, we're done with meeting at the Patachou. I haven't been there probably in 6 years, 7 years. I don't know. It's been a minute. Man, it was a really good meeting. Great catching up. Mike's a really, really interesting dude. Like, he's got really industrious and clever and creative ideas. He's obviously got a really rich background in creativity, home building, and all kinds of other stuff. But the best thing is just knowing someone is still hungry, still wanting to do some really interesting and clever things. So I'm not going to ramble too long. I will say that, I got to learn a lot about just how some of the AI works. Interestingly enough, it was interesting to hear about some of the limitations that I never thought would be limitations, such as its base knowledge is what it always wants to default to. So, I illustrated a guy with like 4 arms, but like 3 arms were on one side of his body, and he had like 3 different guns. And the AI struggles. All right, we'll do that again. The camera fell. Anyhow, so I drew someone that had 3 arms and on one side and 1 arm on the other, and he has guns in each hand. And it was really, really super detailed, and that's why I sent it to him, because I didn't think that it would be able to decipher and render all of the stuff that I sent. But it did, which is pretty amazing. But it struggles to render it because it defaults to someone having 2 arms, 1 arm on one side, 1 arm on the other side, and not 3 arms on one side. It's just interesting, but the worst that AI is ever going to be is the way it is right now. So obviously at some point that's not going to be an issue, and I think probably more advanced or higher level paid versions of various AIs probably gives you more capabilities than some of the entry level stuff is. So it was fascinating. The idea that I pitched to Tuttle is something that I have had an idea for almost 40 years, and I'm gonna do it and post it on Instagram and on YouTube sequentially, and then I'd like to use his abilities with AI on the final scene of this project that I'm doing or want to do. So very productive, very cool, very interesting and intriguing. Like I said before, I mean, whether I like AI or whether I hate AI, it's not gonna go away. it's a tool the same way the cell phone's a tool. It's a tool the same way, I edit all of my videos in iMovie, and you can edit your videos in TikTok or Instagram. Those are all tools. Once upon a time, everyone's splicing film, and now probably only the highest end stuff, like Chris Nolan's new movie Odyssey was shot on 70 millimeter. They cut the film. Well, that's an enormous budget, and the expertise used to pull that off is worth every bit of it. But Mike made a great point. He's like, all these tools exist today to make great content, great videos, great stuff. And he went to see, I think, Toy Story with his kids, and all the previews for all the movies they shown, he's like, I wouldn't pay a dime to see any of them. He's like, all these tools exist, and all the studios are doing is putting out slop or regurgitating the same stuff. So I'm still conflicted about AI, make no mistake about it, but at the end of the day, the idea is what's way more important than the tool used to accomplish the idea. And I will always be a traditional artist, and I'll always harken back to that. But my BC Ants, the independent comic book I did 30 years ago, is just sitting dormant, and there's the possibility that it can be brought to life. And am I doing those characters and my creativity a disservice by not using every possible tool and vehicle at my disposal to bring it to life? And I think that's just being honest, talking to myself, because there's not a whole lot of people who watch my YouTube stuff. But the honest truth is, I owe it to myself to pursue any and every avenue to get this shit out of my head, to get these things in front of people. And if AI makes it possible for people to see things that I've done, even though they might be 30 years old, the truth is, they're really cool ideas, and they deserve the opportunity to be out there and be seen and consumed. And that's just real talk. Just being 100%, just being honest. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go down that road. And I don't know how far down the road I'll go, but I'll have to change my spiel. I'll still be producing things proudly without any AI or Photoshop or computer assistance. But I'm gonna have to say, maybe begrudgingly created, some things begrudgingly created with the assistance of AI. But it is what it is. Alright, I'm gonna head to the shop, do a little bit of work, and then I'm gonna go get Rama. Peace. Stay crafty.